Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on, well, a bit of a different journey. An origin story, yes, but an imagined one.
That's right.
We're diving into a fictional take on two absolute titans of the digital age, Bill Gates and Paul Allen.
Before they were those guys, really.
Exactly. Our source is this piece called Gates and Allen, Forging Microsoft's Genesis. Now, it's not aiming for, historical fact.
No, not at all. It's more evocative, like a what if.
Right. It gives this fictional glimpse into their early days, their friendship maybe, and what could have sparked Microsoft. So our mission here is to unpack this story, not just the plot, but what it says about innovation, rivalry, collaboration.
And those human themes, right? The what if behind it all. It's fascinating, actually, how exploring fiction can sometimes sharpen our view of real-world dynamics, especially with something as huge as Microsoft's beginning. This story, even though it's made up, kind of gets at the core stuff: innovation, competition.
Collaboration, too.
Yeah, and the personalities involved, it offers this different lens, gets at the human side of it, maybe, the emotional landscape that facts alone don't always capture.
Okay, so let's really get into this imagined world. Picture it. Seattle, 1973. Think early days of computing.
Barely a thing for most people.
Right. And we're at Lakeside School, and you've got teenage Bill Gates and Paul Allen already making waves, as the story says.
Prodigies, basically.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It wasn't just smarts. It was this, deep dive into early computers, way ahead of the curve.
And the story sets up this intense dynamic straight away.
Oh, yeah. Rivalry. Big time. You can almost feel it. This intellectual challenge between them.
Both brilliant, both driven.
And initially, that drive kind of pits them against each other. It's that rivalry that comes from, recognizing someone else is just as sharp.
But wanting to be sharper.
Exactly. And the catalyst for this whole imagined story, a coding competition, high stakes.
Okay.
They're head to head. And the challenge is pretty significant, especially for teenagers back then.
What was it?
Build a traffic monitoring program for Seattle.
Wow, okay. In 1973, that's ambitious.
Seriously ambitious. Think about the tech they had, or didn't have. Limited machines, maybe shared mainframes.
Punch cards, teletypes maybe, very basic stuff.
Probably low-level coding, basic, maybe assembly, dealing with, super limited memory, trying to figure out algorithms for traffic flow.
Real-time data, that would have been incredibly hard.
Immense pressure. Designing this thing for a whole city. It's the kind of pressure cooker that really brings out the competition in bright kids like that.
Yeah, that makes sense as a starting point. And it really highlights something, doesn't it? Even fictionally.
Like that.
That drive, that ambition, it's not just about being clever. It's about wanting to solve big problems, wanting to win.
Right.
And choosing something practical like traffic monitoring for Seattle. It's a great detail. It sort of hints at their future focus on real-world impact.
Yeah, how tech could actually change things.
But what's interesting here, I think, is how the story frames that initial rivalry. It's not just about winning the prize. It's like a testing ground for their own abilities first, before any idea of teaming up.
Okay, so this is where the narrative really takes a turn. It gets really interesting.
Yeah.
That rivalry, the competition, it escalates. The story says it gets heated, like it could actually break them apart.
Okay, so real friction.
Yeah, you can picture them in the computer lab, late nights, caffeine, probably barely speaking, each trying to outdo the other. Stubborn.
Right.
But then the twist, a completely fictional one, but wow, very effective dramatically.
What happens?
A massive blackout hits Seattle, citywide, total darkness.
No, okay, a crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything goes down. Lights, computers, communication. Chaos.
And that changes the game for their project.
Completely. It's not about the competition anymore. Yeah. Suddenly, the city needs this traffic system, for real. For safety, for order in the chaos.
Ah, so the stakes become real-world urgent.
Exactly. Their individual brilliance. Not enough anymore. To save the project, to actually deliver something useful in this emergency, they have to work together.
They're forced to collaborate.
Forced. It becomes this frantic race against time. The story describes them, these rivals, now stuck in the same room, trying to merge two different programs.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare. Different code, different logic.
Totally. Debugging hell, probably. Negotiating, compromising, all under pressure. Yeah. Emergency lights, maybe. A city waiting.
Late nights again, but this time together.
Yeah. The story paints that picture really well. Not rivals now, but this, reluctant team that slowly starts working as one, facing the deadline, the dark, their own messy code.
Connecting that to the bigger picture, That imagined blackout is such a powerful metaphor.
How so?
Well, it's like a crucible, right?
Yeah.
It shows how these sudden external crises can completely flip the script on competition.
Turning it into collaboration.
Exactly. And maybe even forcing them to see each other's strengths in a new way, strengths they might have ignored otherwise.
Because they had to rely on each other.
Right. It's that shared adversity. Sometimes the strongest partnerships aren't just built on shared goals, but on getting through something tough together urgently.
Makes sense.
The story suggests this crisis didn't just create their synergy, maybe it just revealed it,
Yeah.
sped it up, forced them to see what worked about their different approaches.
Because the motivation changed. Not winning, but solving.
Precisely. A big shift.
And the story says it wasn't just about the coding during those intense nights. No, they actually started talking. Like really talking, sharing their deeper ideas, their passions, moving past the competition, past the immediate crisis.
So the human connection starts to form.
Yeah, it's in those moments the story suggests that the real partnership seed was planted. Paul Allen, for instance. The story paints him as having this real love for the hardware.
The physical stuff.
Yeah, like fascinated by the machines themselves, microprocessors, circuits,
Yeah.
how it all physically worked. He got the tangible side of it.
The nuts and bolts.
Right. Well, Bill Gates, in this telling, was already thinking bigger picture, much more abstract.
Like his vision.
Exactly. This grand vision for universal computing. Computers everywhere, not just for experts, but for everyone. A computer on every desk and in every home.
Which in 1973.
Was mind-blowing. Most people thought computers were giant things in university basements.
It sounds almost crazy back then.
It really highlights how visionary ideas often sound absurd at first, right?
Yeah.
He saw software as the key to making that happen.
And that, for me, is where this fictional story really offers something powerful. It goes beyond just what happened to maybe the why.
How they click.
Yeah. It shows them realizing their strengths weren't opposing. Alan's hardware grasp, Geetz's software vision, they weren't separate tracks.
They needed each other.
They complemented each other perfectly, like two halves of a whole. And that realization, that's the bedrock of any major partnership, isn't it? Especially for something so ambitious.
It's more than just being friends.
It's strategic alignment. It's seeing how your genius unlocks the other person's genius, and vice versa. The story suggests that understanding, forged in that crisis, became the foundation for their loyalty, their collaboration.
So the power wasn't just them individually, but how they fit together.
Exactly. That dynamic interplay. That's the real magic the story tries to capture, I think.
And the story builds to this climax, this really key moment.
The pact.
The pact. To start a company together, it's framed as this significant, almost solemn agreement.
Born out of that whole experience.
Yeah, the blackout, the late nights, understanding each other. It leads to this handshake, this commitment, which of course foreshadows Microsoft big time.
It gives that moment real weight.
You feel it. Two young guys deciding to chase this huge, maybe impossible dream together.
And it's interesting how this imagined story, you know, with its made-up crisis, still gets at something true about successful ventures.
How's that?
It's rarely just one brilliant person. It's usually about synergy, diverse talents coming together with a shared, really ambitious vision. This fictional start makes you think about how crucial those early conversations must have been, those shared dreams, that mutual recognition of, I need what you have and you need what I have.
It humanizes that shift from rivalry to partnership. It suggests that how they came together was just as important as what they wanted to build.
Absolutely.
So wrapping this up, what's the takeaway here for you, the listener? This dive into a fictional story about Gates and Allen, what does it show us?
Well, several things, I think.
It definitely highlights the power of collaboration, especially when it's born out of a tough situation, right?
Yeah.
How crisis can actually forge stronger bonds than competition.
Yeah, it forces a different kind of connection.
And it vividly shows how complementary skills like hardware know-how meeting big software vision aren't just nice to have, they can unlock massive potential.
Potential neither could reach alone.
Right. And it underlines how a shared vision, even if it starts amidst rivalry, can really drive things forward. Loyalty, collaboration, they become essential.
It's like a mini case study in co-creation, even if it's fictionalized. Totally. And I think exploring this fictional side reminds us of something important. Facts tell us what happened, dates, events,
But stories, even imagined ones,
They can illuminate the how and the why. Why do some partnerships last? Why do they become so impactful? This gives us a peek into the human element.
the psychology behind the success.
Exactly. The personal journeys, the moments of crisis and connection that shape these huge endeavors. Sometimes the deepest truths aren't just in the history books, but in the stories we tell.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. How often are the biggest breakthroughs really born not from some lone genius working in isolation or even playing teamwork,
Hmm.
but from these unexpected partnerships, things forged in fire, like that fictional blackout forcing a new way of working?
A crisis catalyst.
Yeah. What other legendary partnerships out there in tech, science, art, whatever, might have a similar hidden origin story? One that, if we imagined it, could show us a different, maybe more human, angle on their success.
It makes you wonder about the unseen dynamics, doesn't it?
Definitely food for thought, and what truly builds something groundbreaking.